Greetings and salutations, everybody. We are back with a new episode of Three Men and an Anime.
Hooray!
Yay!
Gyro Boss!
Yes, this is Mecha GM, and as always, I'm joined by my good friends and co-hosts Eric Carlson and Gav Leaf. How are you gentlemen doing tonight?
Doing all right.
It is Tuesday and it has been a week.
Fair.
I feel you, dude. I really feel you.
We are now on episode 101, and we're doing Eric's most recent series selection.
We're on 11.
Anime 101.
And we're Eric's most recent series selection, The Witch From Mercury. It's a Gundam series.
Yeah. Yes, Gundam, the Witch from Mercury.
Yes. Yeah, Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch From Mercury.
Gundam.
Yes,
Yep.
This is totally like every other Gundam series.
Yep.
If you are to compare it more to, say, the not Universal Century Gundam series.
Yeah, this is not a Universal Century.
It is not.
There's no Earth Federation. There is no Xeon. Yeah.
They've approached it from a different angle. It's more corporate politics than it is politics, so to speak.
Yeah.
Not that there's a difference. But I mean, let's throw all pretense out the window. This is Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant smashed headfirst into the Tempest.
Pretty much.
Yes.
It is more that there's window dress, there's Udno window dressing and the Tempest sort of bare backbone sort of it. With a lot of corporate political intrigue.
And robots.
And giant robots, yes.
I wasn't even all that. Despite being English and studying Shakespeare, we only study certain things.
Yep.
And the Tempest has never come across my my bow, so to speak. And since you guys were mentioning it, I knew vaguely, I'd heard of Caliban and that kind of thing, and Prospero before, but I'd never really looked at the story. Mm-hmm. And actually, having gone through it over the past week or so, wow, this is on the nose.
I told you.
Yeah.
It's the Tempest. I mean, the reason I spotted it early, well, A, because I heard people mention it, B, one of my favorite classic sci-fi movies is The Forbidden Planet, which is The Tempest.
Which is The Tempest, yes.
So the reason I bring it up is just because this show opens, or if you remember when this first came around, when they first started production and promotion for this show, about 3 or 4 months before the actual show proper came out, they dropped an episode 0.
Right.
Yeah.
Which was kind of like a prologue, it turned out.
Mm-hmm.
Of a woman working on Gundams, trying to get this new technology to work, along with her family, her mentor, and her young daughter.
And her husband.
And again, this isn't spoilers because, like I say, this is literally episode 0.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The then up-and-coming political hopeful goes behind everyone's back and basically outlaws Gundams, which is what she's developing. Launches an attack on the base, everything is destroyed, and she escapes. She and her young daughter, the young daughter, are the only people who escape.
Yep.
Okay. The show then picks up around about, well, in the Tempest it's 12 years. In this it's around about, we're going to say about what, 16, 17?
Something in that area.
20, I think.
About 20 years later. But yeah, like I said, the parallels are there already to see. I'm not going to go into the whole thing because a lot of it comes down the line. But yeah, the parallels already at the start are there to see. The only survivors, they end up going off into space, trying to find somewhere to survive. They do. It's in the title. It's Mercury, which is basically a mining planet at this point. And it's just her, Prospera.
Well, yeah,
and her daughter.
Totally different.
Totally.
So, the early parts of the series are set at this the big corporate group, the Benerit group, have founded a big academy for training mobile suit pilots.
Yeah. I mean, it's in general just a big academy, but mobile suit being trained in mobile suit shenanigans is part of it.
Yes,
you can train to be a pilot. You can train to be a mechanic. You can train to be logistics. But it's not all mobile suits.
There's
business courses.
There's business courses there also, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the mobile suit pilot program is the big sort of flashy thing because
what we're focusing on. Yeah.
Because there's a dueling protocol.
Because of course there is.
And if you win a duel, two people can duel each other. Each of them puts up something at stake. They claim what they want from the other person, and the winner gets the thing. These are non-lethal duels. Yeah.
I mean, they still fuck up the mobile suit involved, but yeah.
But they are expressly forbidden to actually target the cockpit.
They imply that there's software basically in the targeting system that stops them from targeting the cockpit. Weapons are powered down.
Yep.
So they'll break bits, but they won't typically penetrate armor.
Right.
Or at least a direct armor plate. Like you still get severed limbs and stuff like that because they're cutting into the joints. Yep. But you're not gonna like shove a blade through an armored cockpit or something like that.
Right. Yeah, you're not gonna turn the cockpit into a whiz pit.
Yeah. Yes. And the duels are always decided by whoever can snap off the V-fin or the antenna, as they call it.
Yeah.
All Gundams are famous for having V-fins, like really elaborate head dress, crown, whatever.
Yeah. And most of the mobile suits you see are in fact not Gundams because Gundams are illegal.
There are totally no Gundams at the school at all.
Not at all.
They're not in fact two of them there.
Yeah, an important note about why Gundams were made illegal. In this, Gundams will eventually kill their pilot in this.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is because the Gundam protocol uses the creates such an information overload because everything is connected by a mineral called permit.
Yes.
Yeah.
That allows for a quick and easy transmission of data. Gundams produce so much they create a data storm which corrupts and fucks up humans, physically.
Yeah.
You will see it impregnating itself into people's skin, so they have sort of glowing circuitry, patches of glowing circuitry in them when they push themselves too hard in a Gundam.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is actually something fairly important, and they don't really. I mean, it's not critical to understand it all. But if you are the sort of person that likes to world build and likes to know why and what, of everything, it's really frustrating that they don't actually explain what this permit stuff is until, episode 17. And even then, it's only in passing. So, just to give you the brief, it turns out that permit is a mineral that has, some minerals like gold has good conductivity for electricity or whatever else, or thermal, whatever. Turns out this mineral has good conductivity for data transmission. So they build everything out of it. This is important. Computers, ground vehicles, monorails, mobile suits, and importantly, they lay out very early the reason that they were in that episode 0, the reason they were trying to develop Gundams is essentially it's a weaponization of medical tech. Just the Gund format, as they call it, is what they use as prosthetics. So again, they make it out of permet, and the signals from the brain transfer really easily into the prosthetic arm, prosthetic leg, whatever, and it acts almost like a human arm, a human leg. It's really good for that.
Yeah.
But as Eric said, when you try and plug a pilot into a mobile suit using that same technology, the data overload is just so huge it burns them out.
Mm-hmm.
They become a human capacitor.
Yeah.
And this is why they make it. They outlaw it.
Yeah. Also, I mean, that is the official reason they outlaw it.
Yes.
This is the official reason they outlaw.
The reason they outlaw it is
a weapon that kills the user. That should never be used ever.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
It has nothing to do with the fact it is being developed by a company primarily founded by people from Earth. And Delling wants the weapons of war in the hands of the people from space, and primarily his group. primarily his
That's-
group. Totally not
yeah.
just space in general. Nope, not at all.
That's the other Gundam standard that's going on right here. Earth is a shit show, and it's being basically overrun by the more powerful companies that operate out of space. It's basically Earth is basically being used as real estate, and not much else.
A lot of proxy wars.
Yes,
and not so proxy wars. Like to the point where like the only real organizations we see on Earth are terrorist organizations.
pretty much.
I mean, there are
and the occasional labor union that's trying real hard.
There are some labor unions, and I think there are technically a couple of companies on Earth that are just.
There are a couple of,
They exist. They just have no power whatsoever.
Yeah, they're like they're shit tier.
Yeah.
There are four specific branches of this company this huge conglomerate company that we deal with. And one of them, at the very least, does have, I won't say good ties, but at least some ties with Earth.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Shinsei, which is the smallest of the company of the four we deal with, which is the one that Suleta's mother belongs to, the Mercury Mining Guild, essentially. You have Grassley, who are the ones who have the link with Earth.
Yeah, they basically have they've got a school where they can bring underprivileged children from Earth up to space to study Grassley, and are totally not indoctrinating them. Nope, not at all.
Yeah, they're still shitheads, but they've got good PR basically.
Yeah,
and they're doing at least a little something, just not very much.
Yeah,
and nowhere near what they could be doing.
You got Jeturk, who are the mobile suit manufacturers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not, I wouldn't say militarized as such, but they're the ones that keep producing this year's next hot model all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And then you've got Pale Technologies, who, given choice A or B, will always choose whichever one the dickhead would choose.
Pale Technology, Pale seems to be all about like high-end, high-tech electronics and advancement. And is not run by a cabal of transhumanist weirdos at all.
They even say that they have an AI program that chooses their leadership.
Yeah,
they are also totally not. They're totally not the tech bros of all of this.
Yeah, I was just about to call them tech bros, except the leadership seems to consist of
women,
like 4 women who all have dressed exactly the same and have the same weird facial scars, and don't at all remind me of like the Mechanicus with less like cyber bits.
I'd say also that they're also they're clearly obviously they're going to be the ones that are in secret developing a Gundam. But to be fair, of the 4, 3 of them are.
Yes, I will also say about them. They really are. They're not just taking the dickhead move. They will take the thing that will profit for them the most in the short term.
Yes.
Which has the least ethical boundaries to it.
So tech bros.
I rest my case. Like they are not. I mean, they do look a little bit longer term than most tech bros. I will grant them that. It's just that they will always do the short term move first.
Yeah, they have very little patience. If Plan A fails, it's on to Plan D. They just skip a couple.
Yeah. And again, ethical concerns are something that they don't have. Those are for lesser people.
Yeah, ethics aren't like made from the pure machine god.
Right, exactly.
That's meat concern. Those are concerns for meat people.
Yeah,
I mean, kind of, yeah. I don't think they'd actually say that out loud, but they're thinking it.
Well, pretty much, yeah. They're waiting until they can just basically become Gundams.
Oh yeah.
Which totally doesn't happen.
I don't think they want to become Gundams. I think they would absolutely trade the weakness of flesh for the cold certainty of steel, given the opportunity. But they don't want to become giant robots.
Probably not. But I mean, the only other power in the galaxy, in the solar system. Sorry, I'm overreaching the scope there. In the system is the actual presidency, the head, the CEO of the company, of the Bennett Group.
Which is Delling Rembrandt, who totally did not see that coming in the pilot episode. Nope,
yes,
not
he
at all.
was he was the up-and-comer that basically initiated the attack and started all this in the first place. He's now president because of his bold and daring actions.
And to be fair, He's an asshole.
Complete asshole.
But I will give him he is less terrible than he seems like he is at first.
Yes,
He is just utterly ruthless. Is his big thing.
Cold logic.
He's the least asshole-ish of the entire
of the four major company, the five major heads of companies we see. He's actually the least terrible of the five.
Yeah,
he doesn't seem like that at first.
Yeah.
And by the way,
it's just that
the people from Pale, not actually the worst either.
No.
Yeah.
The issue with Rembrandt is that he's aware of things like,
morality and ethics.
Morality, ethics, compassion, but he doesn't let them get in the way of a good deal.
Yeah.
And not in a like a cheesy used car salesman kind of way. I mean, literally, like, he will choose the best financial deal, the best business deal. What is best for business?
Yep.
Regardless of any personal problems that it causes.
He's very much someone. It turns out, we find out later, he's genuinely aiming for what he thinks is going to be a better world long term.
Yes.
The problem is he doesn't believe that he firmly believes the ends justify the means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
methodology doesn't matter as long as the end goal is the correct one. He very much one of the people who doesn't realize that certain ends are precluded by certain means.
We should probably deal with the actual cast as opposed to all these.
Yes, this is all important stuff.
I'm leading to this because this then leads into his daughter.
The majority of the cast are in fact children of these people.
Yes.
This is why I brought this up, because this is where a lot of the interactions between these people come from, and they are all fueled by higher purpose. Whether these kids are involved in it or not, they are everything they do and interact is basically the puppetry of their parents.
Yes, everything bears they are constantly struggling under the shadow and the thumb of their parents and their influence, whether they realize it or not.
Yep.
Yes. Which, like I said, that's why I think it was important to point those factions out. And like I say, it leads us into not the lead, but the second lead, I suppose. Basically, the Gundam princess of this show.
I would say that this is definitely not just a protagonist. They're deuterogonists.
Yeah, they're deuterogonists. Yes.
So this is Miarini Rembrandt. This is Delling's daughter.
Yep.
And she is desperate to hurt Dad exactly where it hurts. By doing absolutely nothing he wants her to do. She's at this school. We meet her trying to escape and get to Earth, and disappear and be a teenage runaway.
Yeah. The long story.
I can't blame her.
Right. Yeah. Basically, the long story short is that she very much has come to the conclusion that her dad didn't give a shit about her mom before she died. Mm-hmm. He doesn't care about what she wants at all.
Nope.
All he cares about is what's good for the company, and what's good for the company is that she has the proper marriage, the proper person, has the proper education. And this is none of what she wants.
Yeah.
And he doesn't seem to care about what she wants at all.
Well, because she's just a stupid girl. Stupid girl. Oh,
stupid child.
I don't think
it's not the gender that he cares about here.
I don't think Delling includes misogyny in his.
No. She's a stupid child. Is the problem?
Yeah.
The only part of that gets brought up about that is the fact that he's basically organized a pseudo-arranged marriage situation, but via trial by combat.
Yes. You remember those duels we mentioned? The top duelist at the school is the quote holder, and will be when she becomes of age be her husband, basically her groom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now that doesn't mean that the holder has to be male. There's one of the things they do bring up, and kudos.
Yeah.
It's whoever, it's male, female, doesn't matter. Rembrandt doesn't care. Nobody cares.
This is initially where the parallels to Utena come up.
Yes.
Because she is literally the Rose Bride.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's a school with a convoluted, batshit insane dueling system run by the student council, and a outsider comes along and fucks everything up by being good at dueling.
Yep. and then falls into being the presumptive groom of the totally not the Rose Bride. No, not at all.
Totally
now,
not the Rose Bride.
Major difference between Mirene and Anthe from Utna.
From Utna.
Mirene has
is a
actual
character.
agency, and
Yeah.
actually is like, no, this is stupid. This is all bullshit. I want to marry who I want to marry.
Yeah.
If I marry anyone at all.
Get married. I might not want to get married at all. Maybe I'll just be all arrow ace and fuck all of you. Maybe I'll go and I'll marry a bum. I don't care. It's going to be my choice. Fuck all you lot.
Right.
And
As
at this
opposed to
point,
Anthe, who's a little bit passive about this, shall we say.
yeah.
A little bit.
And at this point, Mirini's so pissed off with her father, she'd marry a packet of biscuits just to piss him off. You know.
Yes.
I mean, what kind of biscuits are we talking here? Are we talking like Bravian biscuits? Or are we talking like cookies? Like,
I mean,
like
straight up
chocolate
hobnobs.
chip? I don't know what a hobnob is.
Gab means what you think of as cookies, Eric.
Yes.
Okay, good. Then we'll get some like I'd marry I'd marry some good chocolate chip cookies. Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me. Not snickerdoodles though. They're fine, but they just don't have that right pizzazz.
Fair enough. But yeah, so said outsider who fucks things up is Soletta Mercury. Soletta is the daughter of the head of the small company, who goes by the name of Prospera.
Yeah.
If you've read The Tempest, you know where a lot of this is going.
Yes. Yeah. So you know how Prospero tries to get his daughter set up with the son of the king? You see where this is going?
So, Soletta shows up with her mobile suit, which is totally not a Gundam. Ariel.
Called Ariel, by the way.
What? No!
Yep. Honestly, my exposure to The Tempest is purely through Forbidden Planet, and that one time I saw it in the park in high school. So,
well, for those who
I've missed some of this obvious stuff.
For those who didn't know, again, this is just like a brief bit. After the Prospera is stranded on this island, Mercury, he's there with his daughter and two spirits, Ariel and Caliban. Caliban's coming later if you hadn't figured it out.
So yes, totally, it's not Caliban, Eric Gav, it's Calibarn. Totally different.
Caliban, sorry, Caliban.
Yeah, very different.
Very different. There's an R in there.
And this is Ariel with an E, not an A. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, so Soletta shows up.
Honestly, it's just because they translated it from the original Klingon into Japanese and then into English. That's where the problem came.
Fair enough. So yes, Soletta basically stumbles across. Basically, she's the one who mucked up Mirene's attempt to escape to Earth. In that she saw her floating in space in a vac suit and thought she was going to die, so she got Ariel out and saved her. Mm-hmm. Mirene was a little upset about this, but like also eventually, I understand why you did that, but damn it, I had a plan. But Soletta stumbles into Mirene being kind of harassed by the current holder, Gwell Jetter.
The man on a journey that he does not know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
He very much feels like one of the suitors in Utena at the start. Very like the green haired dude who's very, very sexist and misogynistic. He really comes across that way, very possessive, and Soletta's like, could you not be an asshole? And he's like, well, what are you challenging me to duel? And she's like, what? And Mirene basically accepts the duel for her because, she's like, wait, I've got a plan. This is brilliant. Worst case, this girl loses and nothing bad happens to me. If she wins, awesome. And so they agree to duel, and and the winner of whom will become the new holder because you have to be if the holder loses a duel, they are no longer the holder. The person beat them is.
Right.
And basically, Gwell says, if you lose, you're out. You have to quit school and take your and give me your mobile suit. And she's like, if I win, I guess I want Gwell to apologize to Mirene because he was being a dick. I mean, a naughty person. She would never swear.
No.
Soletta seems like a sweetheart of a cinnamon roll to start with. And she's largely is.
A goddamn cinnamon roll and a giant sweetheart. And just absolutely adorable. I'm going to be honest.
She is. She has a couple of issues.
And nervous and...
Soletta's problem is why she's like that, not what she's like.
And she's
a country bumpkin,
in all the
largely.
good ways. Yeah.
Yeah, they refer to her quite a lot as country bumpkin, and she doesn't know. She hasn't got a clue what she's getting into.
None whatsoever. Yeah. So they have their duel, and Soletta wins because Ariel largely can do a lot of this. It's fighting for itself because reasons.
Reasons. We'll come into that.
And it's totally not a Gundam. It's a Gundam.
From a Gundam point of view, it has drones. It has funnels.
It has funnels.
It's got funnels, yeah.
That kind of work on their own. Like, Soletta basically sort of like has a general sort of, go there, do this. But she's not doing it the way normal Gundam pilots do it. She's not really interfaced with Ariel at this point. She's sort of driving it and then asking Ariel to do certain things. Like, literally verbally asking it. And it responds, which is a little weird. A little bit. But yeah, she wins the duel.
She very much refers to Ariel as like a member of the family.
Yep.
And she dotes on the mech.
Yep. And she wins the duel. And she is now the holder and is Mirane's groom. And she's a little confused by this. And Mirane's like, don't worry about it. Same-sex marriages are a thing out here in space. I know you're from Mercury. You're not from around here.
Not a big deal.
It's just not a big deal. And so it's like, oh, okay.
They are very good about that very quickly, very early, and it's like literally one line. She's like, I can't be your groom. Why not? Because I'm a girl.
And?
Yeah, and? That's literally the line. And?
Like, that's just how things... That's fine. It's not... Why is that a big deal? Okay, sure. I don't know. She's like, fine. And it literally is not like... it is literally not a concern.
No.
But yeah, this starts the early parts of the season, which is a lot of dueling, a lot of school stuff, a lot of politicking behind the scenes.
Yeah, the main plot point of the first half of the first season is Ariel a Gundam?
Yes. And the answer is yes.
Yeah. They basically try and the three major houses are trying to get Ariel pulled, and absolutely don't want to be able to pull it apart themselves and research it. And
they want it seized and destroyed and Soletta kicked out so they can have their chosen participant can be the groom.
Yeah,
and not this outsider.
That too, yeah.
That is totally the only reason why, though. Yes.
Yes, because the other companies also consider the fact that whoever is groomed marries into the Rembrandt family, and essentially they're guaranteed to be the next seat of power.
Yep.
You know, they will become the next president.
So now, I will say this: if I will say this, if you were to spin things forward along that plot line, with Mirane inheriting the seat, the presidential seat, good luck trying to take over from her. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, yeah, we've all said it along this. Like, Mirane is probably like maybe second, maybe third best Gundam princess. Period.
She is basically she is roughly tied with Kudelia, season 1 Kudelia from Iron Blooded Orphans.
Season 1 Kudelia, yeah.
Miria Zabi is number one. Like, I don't think any of us will brook an argument with that.
Yeah, because she is the best at the end.
Miria Zabi is the goddamn boss, and I love her. But Mirane is pretty freaking awesome. I'm just gonna say this.
Yeah, it's again. We mentioned it last week when we finished the show. That parallel. Those parallels between Utena and this. It's just like it's as if the two characters are flipped.
Oh yeah. We find out later that
except Soletta is a vastly more interesting character than
yes, but she's still. Show. Even before we find out the reveal, she basically just kind of goes along. She's got her own compass, so to speak, but she basically just goes along with what everyone else does because she hasn't got that kind of personality to say no.
Long story short, Soletta has a lot less agency than it seems like she has at first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, she develops agency later in the series. Much earlier in the series than, say, Anthe does when she develops it right near the end of the show.
10 seconds.
Don't be ridiculous. She develops in the last 2 episodes.
Yeah,
fine.
and
of a 50
Anthony's
some odd
an
episode
interesting
series.
character. I think he's a very interesting character once everything is laid out before you.
Yes.
Yeah.
But up until that point, she is frankly a boring ass cipher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no. She
Um,
becomes much more interesting once the reveals happen, like in the last third of
Yeah.
the series, last quarter of the series, really.
Well, Soletta is right out the gates and interesting and adorable, and oh, she is so sweet. And then as everything starts getting laid out before you go,
Oh.
oh, you
Oh,
poor
this poor
thing.
girl. This poor
You poor
poor kid.
thing.
Oh, you poor kid.
She walks around with this, like, she clearly has an effect on people. Because even Gwell, who she beats, he loses the holder and instantly falls out of favor with his father, the head of the Jetta company. To the point where he's kicked out of the dorm room and we find him camping on the school grounds.
Yeah.
Before even, again, later down the line, just getting removed from school altogether. Because he's not going to be able to beat her. He's not going to be able to do anything. I don't really need him to run the company. I'm doing it fine. Fine, go get some work experience.
Well, he doesn't. He goes to get some work experience on his own. Like his dad doesn't know where he's going.
Well, yeah,
and does not care.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, but no. Soletta keeps walking around with this mantra that she keeps coming out with, and it seems really cute. And it's what is it?
Move forward, gain 2, fall back, gain 1.
Something like that. Yes, I'll stay. Yeah. Run and gain 1, move forward, gain 2, or something like that.
Yeah.
Essentially saying that if you run away, you gain your own safety. You gain your life. You gain an ability to come back and go again. But if you move forward, you have the opportunity to keep that, to gain that, and something else, self-confidence, a victory, whatever.
Like
Move forward,
even if you fail, you learn something at least.
Yes.
Assuming you survive.
Even if you fail, moving forward is always the best decision, essentially.
Yeah.
Which seems like such a cool and heartfelt and really sweet sort of thought to, and way to live and to go. Oh God, does that get dark?
Yeah.
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 But yeah,
We'll
she
come
has
to
a
that.
profound effect on Gwell. Actually, like
Yeah.
like this incident and like meeting and talking to her a couple of times and like hearing her how she lives her life has a profound effect on him, and he eventually has an actual character arc and becomes one of the more interesting and likable people in the show.
Yeah.
Did not see that
Like,
coming early on.
He has one last attempt to try and take back the holder from Soletta, and as he's lining up in his mech, he realizes that his father has had an AI system implanted in the mech. Basically, he's got auto aim
Yeah.
and various other things, and he realizes that even his father doesn't trust him. His own skills are irrelevant. He doesn't care, and that's when he decides to just do one. And moves out and has a lot of, like I say, of all the characters in the show, I actually do think he has the most growth overall. Even being a secondary character, like the leads do have a lot of growth, but they kind of flip a little bit or grow into themselves, whereas Gwell is like night and day from when he starts to where he finishes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. And he does develop a bit of a crush on Soletta for a while, at least. Mm-hmm. She's like, God damn. All right, you're actually freaking awesome. Holy shit. You're not interested in me, are you? Damn. Fuck. Well, all right. I have learned not to push that sort of thing because you beat that sense into me. All right. But yeah, we meet the guy, the leading pilot from Pale Industries, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Elan,
yeah, who
Elan Sears.
He seems very cold and distant, and yeah, there's more going on there. And his actual main thing that he eventually reveals in his duel with Soletta is a Gundam. And he's not
Pale has a. I was going to say, yeah, Pale has a Gundam that they've kept secret from everyone else, but it basically comes. They argue that Ariel technically isn't a Gundam because it doesn't have any negative effect on Soletta.
Yep.
So she can survive piloting this Gundam, and again, Prospera's come out of the shadows and explained why, or at least the why she wants everyone to know, and said this, that, and the other, and it's kind of put an experimental phase on them. So the other companies start to get a little bit more bold and say, "Oh yeah, we've got this machine that's totally not a Gundam." And I've forgotten the name of the company now. Pale
yeah.
have the Faract, which is a spindly little fucker, but it's quick.
Oh yeah. And of course, Soletta wins that duel also, but and what she wants from the duel is to, get to Ellen to tell her more about himself, so she knows.
Yeah,
but she's come to like the guy, so he's become a friend.
He's always been very quiet though, very withdrawn.
And she wants to know who whatever. Now, it turns out that the Ellen in question we're looking at is, not exactly who he says he is. He's an enhanced person who is as near as we can tell, basically kind of a replica of the actual Ellen Saris.
Yeah, surgical alteration.
And has been enhanced to be able to pilot a Gundam, and it's killing him, and he dies. So the next enhanced person is brought in, who is totally not like, who looks exactly like him, but is a very different person. He actively tries to seduce Soletta and is very bad at it.
Yeah, he's a very loud, brash, mouthy, almost arrogant.
Everything. Oh, he's definitely arrogant. Everything that she liked. He's everything that she liked about the Ellen she knew. He's not.
Yeah.
So she is very confused and kind of scared of him. And he is utterly convinced that he's wooing her. Oh boy. Creepy motherfucker. Yeah, it fails miserably. Yeah, there's a bit where Soletta has a real sort of crisis. Oh, one other important bit happens actually, is it looks like they go to this big party thing up in space where they're going to, where all the major corporations are talking and such. And as a holder, she has the right to be there. And Ellen basically, she goes on stage to like talk about Ariel and like how cool it is and how it's not a Gundam. And this is where Ellen and the Pale Group are basically going to have plotted to demonstrate that it is a Gundam and screw her over.
Based on fight data that they had when the first Ellen was killed.
Right. Well, he was killed after the duel, but yes.
Well, yeah.
He technically survived the duel. He just was never going to be able to pilot another Gundam without dying. So, fortunately, Mirene's there, and she's like, wait, she sees what's happening. And it's like, oh, those motherfuckers. And this, by the way, this party thing is there as a place for people to pitch new business ideas. It's
kind of like a Dragon's Den kind of situation.
Yeah. And very rarely people have things that go off, and like they talk about like why, like they're not grand enough and such. And so Mirene's like, okay, okay, I've got a long shot I'm going to try here. So she goes out and declares she is founding a business looking for like $2 billion equivalents investment because she wants to actually use, and she wants to buy out the Ariel and the Prosperous company as part of it to study and use Gundams properly.
Yeah.
And nobody's willing to bid until she goes to her father and basically says, "Hey, look, Dad, this is what you want. Not the Gundam thing, but like me actually doing this sort of shit. Back me." And he's like, "Fuck. Are you sure this is what you want, kid? Because Gundams are a curse and you're not going to be able to escape it." Okay, I'll give you some initial backing. And Ariel's like, fuck, the president actually backed this? Well, I'm in.
Yeah.
It's more complicated. That the actual debate between her and her dad is a little bit more complicated than that, but that's the crux of it.
The gist of it, yeah. So basically, they've gone from being set up to be outed as Gundams to basically saying, yes, okay, we are using Gundam technology, but we're researching and developing it, so we're not using it in a military fashion.
Well, they're debating how they're going to do it properly.
Oh yeah.
And their decision is, well, what if we were to go back to what the Gundam technology was for, which was, medical tech. Tell people, help people survive in space,
Yeah. That's the whole gist of it. I think I forgot to mention that section. The whole medical thing about it is because they really play into the bit in this where the human body is not designed to stay in space for a long time.
Yep.
It can't take the strain, especially the further, if you go further into the system, especially like Mercury with the mining planets. So like people's bodies, their nervous systems, even like complete spinal replacements happen because their bodies just break down.
Which is a real problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like without cosmic radiation, calcium leaching from not enough gravity, all that shit is a real problem that real astronauts suffer from.
Yep.
Yeah. And it is made clear. I mean, they're very real problems when they're not just shutting down Gundam for the sake. There is a valid, ethics issue with Gundam because it's a bastardization of medical technology into military.
Yes. And it does kill the pilot.
Yes.
Yep. Even the prosthetics, like early ones, had a negative effect on the people using them.
Yeah. But the information they were passing along wasn't.
It's not a massive one, but it was an effect. Like.
Yeah, we see early on in that episode 0, Prospera already has a prosthetic arm, and it at one point just basically just flops on her, just stops working.
Yeah.
So she has to give it a little bit of a tweak and gets it sorted. But yeah, it's an unsound technology that needs developing, but no one wants to touch it because of the association with Gundams. So now we have the Gundam Company.
Yep.
Yes.
And she actually ended up buying out Pale's Gundam stuff also.
Yeah.
Yes, because Pale got into a bunch of shit over the fact that they revealed that they did have a Gundam. They tried to play it off, saying that we are aware we were breaking the rules, but we felt it necessary to use the prototype that we had on hand, because the only way to prove that Ariel was a Gundam is to see how it reacted to another Gundam, which we are openly admitting we have.
We had it, but it was totally just a thing we were experimenting with. We weren't ever going to really use it until now.
Yeah.
It was mothballed from before the orders came down.
Yeah. But now that we've deployed it and Ariel reacted in the way it is, that's conclusive proof that Ariel is a Gundam. But we'll happily accept any fines or punishment. And Mirini says, cool, we'll buy it.
And they're like, okay, I guess. I mean, that's less bad than...
Yeah.
Wait, we get money from that. Okay.
It's also the fact that they pretty much Prospero pretty much says it, and Marine pretty much say it can't be a Gundam. There's no data storm effect. Soletta wouldn't be standing here if, given the amount of time she's piloted it, if it were a Gundam. There's a reason for that.
Yeah. So basically, they end up. So Soletta's been hanging out with the small group of people, the small group of students from Earth. She's joined Earth House. But the fact that she's not from Earth, she's also an outsider. So they're like, yeah, okay, fine. And it's Soletta. Everybody likes Soletta.
Yeah.
Well, except people who really don't like Soletta. And usually they're not people who really had any time to get to know her. So and most of them are people who like, yeah, I can envision you kicking puppies. But yeah, virtually everybody who actually ends up like talking to Soletta for any significant period of time is like, oh, fuck, I don't hate her. I may not like what she represents, but the person is not someone I hate. Fuck. Anywho, Yeah. So yeah, they basically they debate for a while, and like they don't really want to sell weapons, and because I mean, it's like yeah, from a practical standpoint, that's the easiest way to make money. But like, we really don't want to be doing about weapons. Well, what do we? And basically, Miranne does some research, talks to some people, and it's like, so the original point of the Gundam was to actually for medical technology. And they're all like, wait, we could sell medical technology? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's something people want. Yes. And we can make money doing it, and it's profitable. Yes. Oh, and we're not selling weapons then. Correct. Well, why don't we do that?
Well, what if we sold weapons to just to Earthers? We can't make that distinction.
If we try doing that,
yeah.
we will get swatted down.
Yeah.
Let us be practical. The second find out we're selling weapons to Earth, we are doomed.
The one of the students in the Earth house is named Choo Choo. She's a little firebrand. She's an anarchist. She wants to burn everything down because fuck the spacers.
And fair, honestly.
I love her.
Oh, she's great. She gets very upset with the actual terrorists because they're a little bit more indiscriminate than she'd like, shall we say?
They are indiscriminate, and they quite frankly the shit they pull is A, obviously in service of the corporations, and B, completely undermines any arguments for Earth independence.
Yep. Unfortunately, yeah.
And Choo Choo, it might be a little anarchist firebrand, but she knows her shit.
Yeah.
Like I said, she's great.
Oh,
she's my favorite character.
She's one of my favorites also. She's great. And a much better pilot than she seems like at first.
Yeah, no, she's an excellent pilot. She just is busy stuck driving basically tractors.
Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, yeah, so turns out that the guy from what's the company? Grassley. The head of Grassley. Sabina.
Sabina, yeah.
No, sorry, Shadiq. Sorry, Shadiq. I'm not thinking Shadiq, not Sabina. Sabina's Shadiq's right hand.
Okay.
Yeah, Shadiq, who is he's from Earth originally. It turns out he's adopted by Grassley, and is often referred to by his compatriots who are also from Earth as the Prince. This has nothing to do with his ties to the terrorist groups. He doesn't have ties to terrorist groups. What am I saying? That'd be wrong.
Shadiq isn't in charge of Grassley. I mean, he ends up in charge of.
No. He's on charge. I'm talking about. He's the head of the Grassley group at school.
Okay.
At the school.
Gotcha.
No. The old dude is the head of Grassley. He's actually kind of for one of the corp guys. He's actually not that bad, honestly.
I mean, he's bad.
He's bad, of course,
guy.
But in comparison, he's mostly hidebound, really.
He's hidebound. Yeah, fair enough. He's mostly just hidebound in the most irritating possible way.
He's just old, and he's an old head of a corporation. So, at any rate, so yeah, Shadiq, basically the head of Jeteric House of the Jeterics, Gil's dad has been trying to have Delling assassinated on more than one occasion.
Yeah,
and
generally he has to pull the plug at the last minute because some fuckery happens.
Right. Well, Shadiq decides to tries to convince his adoptive father to get on board with this. But his dad's like, yeah, no, this is a terrible idea, Shadiq. Killing, don't do that. That is a bad thing. Well, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to basically do it behind your back and then imprison you and and the way we're going to do it is I'm going to have my terrorist buddies back on Earth kill him because that will totally not play into my eventual hands and allow me to take over. Bwahaha, bwahaha, bwahaha. Shadiq has big plans. Gav's internet's been having some issues, so he's mentioning via text though that Shanique is basically McGillis from IBO, and that's not far wrong.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I mean, and honestly, Shadiq's plan is well thought out as you see it unfold. Unfortunately, it's not going to lead where he wants it to lead.
Yeah.
Also, there are other things going on that he's not aware of, because of course there are.
Shadiq might be the smartest guy on the show. He's got his head. He's the guy with the most elaborate plan that comes the closest to actually pulling it off.
Basically, if it wasn't for the meddling plans of one other person, his plans would have been very good. The problem is there's someone who's a better manipulator than he is in the show.
Yes.
So, but at any rate, this leads to a terrorist attack on the big sort of big secret manufacturing facility. Well, not really secret, but there are secrets there. I forget what it's called, but
I know the one you're talking about. I also can't remember the name of it.
That's not important. So there's a big incident out there where, like, basically they brought Ariel out there to be worked on and fixed up. The kids from Earth House go out there to pick it up, basically. Gwell is out there working as just a dude on a cargo ship for the Jetter Company.
Yeah.
Plan quite a thank you, Gav. So, and yeah, in come the terrorists, and who actually have some Gundams somehow. Wonder where they got the tech for that.
Yeah, it seems weird. Why would they have Gundams?
It's not like they have ties to one of the major corporations who were secretly working on Gundams.
No, that doesn't make any sense at all.
That would be wrong.
That would be wrong. That would be incorrect.
Actually, I'm not positive where they got. I don't remember exactly where they got them, but they did. Oh no, yeah, right. No, they had the Gundam technology because they're from Earth, and the original Gundam technology was done by Earthers.
Yes.
So it's old.
That doesn't mean that they don't have more than a few.
They've got weapons from. Backers. They've got weapons from the Prince, shall we say? But the Gundam tech is actually from the old Vandals group stuff, if I remember correctly.
I think you're probably right. It doesn't matter that much.
So
it's
there's
just that we have
So basically, two of the Gundam pilots are these two girls. One of whom is very outgoing and energetic. Yeah, they share the same ancestors.
Standard Genki psychopath.
Standard Genki psychopath and standard introvert psychopath, basically.
Yeah, they're both crazy. They're both filled with crazy.
Genki one has developed something of an obsession with Soletta because of the marketing thing they did for the Gundam Technology Company, which was adorable and sweet.
Yes.
And
incompetent and utterly incompetent in like
because it is a group of high school students who don't know anything about doing this stuff yet.
Yes, it's like I said, it's adorably incompetent. It's like watching a film student try really hard to do an epic sci-fi film and just it just comes apart. It's an Ed Wood. It's basically Ed Wood. It's an Ed Wood movie.
Yeah.
It's Plan 9 from outer space.
Kind of, yeah. Shorter, though.
Yes, considerably. It's a commercial, not a movie.
Right. So, at any rate, big fight happens at Planet Quetta, and, lots of bad shit's happening. Eventually, Soletta gets into Ariel and goes out to confront them. And basically, it's enough to drive off there's enough happening to drive off the mobile suits outside.
Yeah.
And Soletta's able to go back inside in Ariel to basically, just in the nick of time, save Miorne and her dad, Dilling, from an assassin who's about to shoot them. So she shows up out of nowhere and swats the dude with her Gundam, with Ariel's hand.
Yep.
Squid. Not a dude in a mech, just squid.
Yeah,
blood and guts everywhere. And she gets out of Ariel, pops down, covered in blood, and slips in the blood, gets up, and offers Miorne her hand.
Raspberry jam. It was raspberry jam.
It was blood. They were not being subtle about this, Eric. And with a giant grin on her face, asked her if she's okay, and like basically, I'm here to help. And Mirne understandably freaks out a bit.
What? It's just raspberry jam.
Yeah. Now, this is all after she was having a bit of a crisis. Soletta was having a bit of a crisis of confidence in thinking that Mirne and nobody needed her anymore.
Yeah.
Because of misunderstandings. And Mirne gets justifiably kind of upset with her because she's like, dude, why wouldn't you just talk to me about this?
Because I'm dumb and an introvert and I've got all sorts of
issues. Okay, I understand, sweetie. Okay, look. Do you want me to depend on you? Yes. Good.
Yeah.
I will. I care. I do care a lot about you. You are my best friend.
I mean, a little bit more than that, but
oh yeah, no. It is very clear that they both have serious feelings for each other.
Yeah.
And she basically drags her into a giant hug. It's very adorable.
Yes.
That's about 20 minutes in episode time before the squid happens. So
yeah.
A bit of whiplash for Mirne here.
I should also point out that during this whole fight, Gwells himself is trying to has been captured by the terrorists and yeah.
So he steals a mobile suit to try to help out. He's actually trying to help, but he gets in it. Yeah. But one of the Jetter mobile suits that's out there is getting in his way and attacking him, thinking he's an enemy because he stole one of the Earther suits.
Yeah, and he's on open comm saying, "No, I'm not with the Earthers. I'm trying to help. I've escaped. Please stop shooting at me."
And he eventually has to fight back and skewers the cockpit. Didn't mean to, really, but
yeah, it was very much a case of, dude, stop trying to hit me. Stop hitting me. Please stop hitting me.
Yep. And it's episode cockpit, and it was his dad.
Because of course it was.
Because
it wouldn't be a Gundam without fratricide.
And also, this is the episode where most of the initial trauma happens. Several characters experience trauma in this episode.
Yes.
Oh, and Gav does point out that yes, there was just long enough between when the sweet scene between Mirne and Soletta happens and the squid for Prosper to have a nice little chat with her daughter about how killing people is okay, as long as it's to help people.
Yeah, as long as it serves the greater good.
And Soletta's like, okay, I understand, Mom. Because she was very but killing people's wrong. You always told me killing people's wrong. Well, yes, generally. But there are times when it's necessary and the right thing to do. Oh, okay. This is where we realize that Prosper has kind of been puppeteering Soletta the whole time.
Yeah. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with what Prospera says, but it's the way she says it.
It is.
It's very much like a go out there and murder some fuckheads, dear.
Yes.
I think it's okay. Do it in this way because that will serve me best.
Yep. It is very much not it is not the moral lesson that sometimes
violence is required to preserve that what you care about.
Yes.
It is the moral lesson of it's okay to murder people if I say it's okay.
Yes. That's the problem here. And so Soletta's very upset, realizes that Mirene's kind of freaked out and scared of that. And so when we come, that's by the way, the first half of the show break. Part 2 of the show, Soletta's a little bit, again, worried about people about specifically about Mirne being creeped out by that. Mirne realizes that Soletta's having an issue because she's like, wait, Soletta bottles this shit up because she's an introvert. Right, gotta talk to her. It's like, do you hate me? No, I don't hate you. Yeah, I was scared, but I do appreciate.
You turned someone into a pancake and then rolled around in raspberry jam
and smiled.
I was upset.
However, I do appreciate the fact that you saved my life. Don't get me wrong.
It was an
in the moment thing.
Raspberry jam. There was a lot of jam there. You were not a piece of toast.
But this is not me saying, oh no, I dislike you, I'm terrified of you. This is me saying, that was freaky in the moment. Okay? We good? But yeah, yeah, we do slowly realize that, as Gav puts it in the chat, Unit Soleta will accept any and all new data from user Prospera. Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
We do get a scene on Earth with the other the terrorist group, actually, who still have Gwell, and it's a really good episode.
Yeah.
Like, we actually get to see like
a
the people behind the terrorist group, and like, yeah, you understand why they're doing what they're doing. It's just unfortunate they're being manipulated by an asshole.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Like, it is entirely reasonable that they would react this way to what's
Absolutely
to their situation. It makes a lot of sense if you just think about it for 5 seconds, which no one does.
No,
but
unfortunately, they're taking orders from a prick who does not have their best interest at heart. Well, he thinks he does. He's just,
he tells himself he does.
Yeah.
I don't think he believes it either.
I mean, he kind of
really
does.
Don't think he believes it either.
He kind of does, but kind of doesn't. The biggest problem is that his plans run into contact with someone who's an even better manipulator than he is.
Yeah, and again, I think he tells himself he has their best interest.
Oh no, I agree. I largely agree.
To sleep, to get himself to sleep at night.
Yeah, fair. Yeah,
he knows he doesn't. He knows what he's doing is purely for his own gain.
Pretty much.
He
Yeah.
just lies to himself about it.
Well, he definitely lies to almost everybody else about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically, Gwell's kind of freaking out and is confronted by these two kids, and who are very upset about their family being killed by spacers, and like especially this one kid's dad, which he's complaining about he wants his dad back, and Gwell's sitting going, "Oh my god, fuck."
Yeah.
It's not just like shit. This kid lost their dad. Also, I killed my dad.
Yeah. It was her. It was the girl.
Yeah. It was this little kid basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, the overreaction from the military forces that what's his bucket? Shadiq was angling to generate happens.
Yeah.
And comes down like Thor's hammer on this terrorist group largely. Now, most of them escape because they spend a bunch of it buying time, though one of them fucks up and attracts attention too early and gets a lot of civvies killed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And Gwell almost crushed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, one of the two kids who's there was crushed.
Yeah. He was trying. He got her out.
Gwell got her out and almost saves her, but by the time he eventually gets he's like, I'm gonna save this kid. I got to do something. Okay, well,
she dies of her wounds before he can get her out properly.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like he scoops. Like everyone's like, okay, well, she's gone. Let's get out of here, because they took one.
Well, they assume that she's dead and Gwell's also crushed, so they get out. He is not dead. Sees her, then realizes that she's still technically alive, so gonna try to save her. And eventually he's like, "Ooh, so one of the terrorist mobile suits got knocked down. Well, maybe the pilot can. Oh no, the pilot's goo.
The pilot is also raspberry jam."
Gwell's like, "Excuse me for a moment. I need to empty the contents of my stomach, but I will pilot this thing and try to get this kid to safety." Ah, fuck, she's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've managed to survive. Get all the evacuees. The evacuees have all escaped. Dude, who's in charge of the terrorist units here? Can you get me to the space elevator so I can get back to the academy? I've got things I need to fix. Because he's realized, okay, I have things I have to do now. I'm digging myself out of this stupid hole I dug myself into.
Yeah.
Are you willing?
Instead, I gotta do the thing now because apparently things are hereditary. Also, I mean, it makes a certain degree of sense. The shares would be left to the oldest son because inheritance, and which gives him controlling interest in the company, that kind of thing.
So he comes back and says, "Yep, I'm still alive. I'm here. bro, will you let me take over? And his younger brother's like, thank God.
Thank God. I'm so bad at this. All I want to do is look pretty and be condescending to people, and and not actually make decisions. Dear God.
What I'm good at is being your right hand, not being the guy in charge. I'm good at being your right hand, dude. Let me be your right. Oh, thank God. Okay, now I can be condescending to Soletta again. Much better. I can now think everything's Soletta's fault. Until it's proven it's not Soletta's fault, then he can blame everything on Mirane. By the way, this is what actually his younger brother does. Because facepalm.
Is that Gav returned? Gav is returned!
Hooray! Is Gav's mic working? Well, we'll see.
Apparently not, unfortunately.
Anywho, yeah. So this is where things get a lot out of hand.
Yeah.
There's a Gav. Or is there a Gav? Thought I heard Gav. Anyways,
Keep trying.
Yeah. So, what happens next? Oh, right. So Shadiq basically pulls some strings to get some new transfer students into the academy from Earth.
I wonder who these would be.
It totally is not the two psycho Gundam pilots. That'd be wrong.
That'd be crazy. Who would do that? Such a thing?
It's them. So the Genki one is all super excited to get to hang out with Soletta because Soletta's awesome.
Yes.
The other one is sort of like, this is all of this is bullshit.
This is all bullshit. This is very dumb. I don't know why I'm here, but I guess I'm part of Earth House because I'm from Earth. So you guys have to deal with me.
Like the prince gave orders. I will follow his orders because that's sort of what we do. Also, we apparently will have the opportunity to fuck shit up here, so that'll be cool.
That'll be fun.
The opportunity does come at this big sort of, everybody gets to have a practice duel thing event, a big sort of open combat thing, and it's a chance for like people to show off against the holder and all this stuff. But before that, they actually one of the members of Earth House, whose name escapes me at the moment. What's your name? I can't remember your name all of a sudden.
It's like Nikki or something.
Yeah, like, something like that. Nika.
Nika, that's it.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Yay!
Hooray!
Yeah, so Nika turns out has been sort of, she was basically, she's got sort of divided loyalty. She's very much wants to be a bridge between Earth and spacers. But she also has ties to the terrorist group as they're the ones who got her into the school and et cetera, et cetera. But she's like, okay, like, you two don't, like, guys, stop. I know you're probably here to, like, fuck shit up. Could you please not? And, like, they're like, okay, well, if you're gonna, like, screw our plans over, then we're just gonna kill you. And fortunately...
We're gonna step on you with a giant robot, because we can.
Fortunately, Soletta shows up and is like, hey, guys, don't kill my friend. We're friends. Why are you killing friends?
Friends killing friends is not how you keep friends.
Oh, you
mentioned Soletta's incredibly naive.
Just a little bit.
Really naive.
So, Genki Girl is like, okay, we will duel, but we'll duel our way. And if you win, we'll leave her. We'll spare her. We'll stop trying to destroy stuff. But if I win, you're part of my family now, because I'm totally not a psychopath.
And I want a family, and you're my family. Because shut up.
Because you're a Gundam pilot like us, so you get to be my sister. You're my big sister.
Okay, crazy lady, whatever.
And so the duel doesn't happen when the duel happens in the middle of the big brawl thing, when the two show up in their Gundams with no limiters on.
Yeah, they're in the middle of a battle royal. What's the word for it when it's not a real fight? Exhibition.
Yep.
That's it, yes.
And like the head, the top of all the houses plus Soletta, they're all fighting. They're all just having a normal duel. And then these two Gundams show up with fully armed weaponry.
Yep. Yeah.
And they're fighting for keeps.
Yep. And are blowing the shit out of the school too.
Yeah, they're taking chunks out of the school, and they do. These two Gundams, one of them's got a Gatling cannon, and one's got a high intensity beam cannon.
Yep.
And the one with the beam hits somebody flat in the cockpit and keeps pushing the power until it melts straight through it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have our first official death of a student.
Yep. There are a fair number of deaths in this scene.
A lot of people end up dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sled ends up chasing Psycho Girl out into space because, Genki Girl out into space because, And Elon, who started forming something of a bond with the quiet one, basically distracts her largely. Because he's not interested in actually, getting killed by piloting a Gundam because that's stupid. Because he's realized that this is a stupid plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to die for this because, fuck the corp.
That's stupid.
Dying for the corp seems like a dumb idea.
Yeah.
Why are you so enthralled with the idea of dying for your cause? Dying for your cause is dumb. And he's right. The real answer is to kill the other motherfuckers for their cause.
Yes. No, it's not even like his cause. It's just.
Oh no, he wouldn't be even dying for his cause
for
either.
Someone else's cause. He doesn't particularly.
No.
Give a shit about their cause.
Absolutely not. But he also doesn't think dying for your own cause is kind of dumb, especially when your cause is not what you generally want, is it, kid? He spends a lot of time needling her, actually, about this because he's really good. He's actually much better at poking people until they say what they're really thinking than he is at being charming and seductive. He's a lot better at that. He's kind of a prick, but he actually has some good points. He brings up a lot of good points, honestly. But he's a prick.
The German have a saying for this. It's I don't remember the exact translation, but it's like, you're an asshole, but you're right.
It's not actually a German word. It is someone taking Walter Sobchak's name from Big Lebowski and turning it into a fake German word. Oh,
is it? Okay.
Yeah. No, that's the joke. It's Walter.
Okay. That's funny.
It's being Walter from the Big Lebowski.
Yeah. It's the meme from Winter Soldier and Falcon. He's out of line, but he's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, they're literally referring to Walter Sobchak from It's a good gag, honestly. Because
I feel kind of dumb now, but
it's hard to spot. Someone pointed it out to me too. I read it like, oh fuck, that of course that's what that is.
It's okay, Eric. I'm here.
Oh, that's true. As long as Gav's here, I'll never be the dumbest guy in the room.
Nope.
I love you, Gav.
All right. At any rate, so Selena basically forces Genki Girl to push herself beyond her limits, and she dies in her cockpit.
Yeah.
And Selena gets kind of freaked out by this, and the other girl is understandably pissed off.
Yeah.
But during all of this, Shadiq has his dad kidnapped and totally taken prisoner by the terrorists, and not Shadiq, and Shadiq has no idea where he is. So sad he'll have to take over now. We did mention Shadiq's plan is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of good patsies.
A lot of them. But yeah, as we go along, so Nika and the other Gundam pilot girl are basically taken prisoner, because
as well as Alan.
Yes.
Yeah. Shadiq, in his attempt to basically hide everything, helps them disappear, and takes Nika, the other girl, and Elan, and hides them away in a storage closet and locks the door.
Yeah, basically. Now, this is because Nika was being interrogated by the people in charge because Martin, the head of Earth House, basically knew she was up to something and eventually realized that, I think she's tied to the terrorists. Oh, I don't want to do this, but if I want to actually preserve Earth House from being completely wiped out, I gotta turn her in. Hopefully they won't do anything too bad to her. Oh, fuck, they're doing shit. They're torturing her. Fuck.
Yeah.
Again, I understand Martin's motives, but, I get why he did it, but I don't think it was the right move.
Yeah.
And to be fair to Martin, he realizes that. But this is also where, during all of this, is, after a little bit of realizing things, Marinade kind of realizes what's up, the thing that's up with Soletta, and she's like, oh, but she has some chats with Soletta's mom. And she realizes that Soletta's kind of, like, this whole Gundam thing is going to be really bad for Soletta and such. She's like, okay, look, I know you're up to something, Prospera, but can you, like, leave Soletta out of this? Like, please? Soletta deserves better than to be used up and thrown away by you. I would never do that to my daughter. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're a lying sack of shit. Keep her out of it.
Here's the thing. Prosper is not actually lying when she says that.
Yeah.
No.
The problem is she doesn't really consider Soletta her real daughter.
Yeah, that's the problem. She's not talking about Soletta.
She's talking about her actual daughter, which we'll get to in a second. Soletta's also her actual daughter, really, but like...
Yeah, so one thing that I didn't mention deliberately from that episode 0, the daughter that she escaped with is named Eric.
Eric, yes. Not Soletta.
Eric. Not Soletta.
They look very similar.
Yeah.
Soletta looks like Eric all grown up, absolutely. And, to be fair, you could think that she was young enough that when they got to Mercury and Prospera had her name changed the way she changed her name to Prospera, that Soletta just grew up as Eric just grew up as Soletta. That looks like it's possible. However, it has been a few too many years, a little too long. Actually, it turns out.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so Soletta basically, and it's basically, Prospera's like, yeah, if you convince Soletta to step out of the Gundam piloting, I don't think you'll be able to, but go for it. I'm okay with that. So Marinade talks to Soletta and realizes that basically, if her mom told her to do something, she'll do it no matter what. She's like, oh, fuck, I was right.
Yeah. She literally pushes on it, saying, so if your mom told you to leave school, leave me, and just go back to Mercury, would you do it? Well, if mom said she'd have a good reason, yeah. If mom told you to strap weapons to Ariel and use it as a military machine and kill people, would you do it? And I'm sure mom would have a good reason.
Yeah, she must have a good reason.
Okay.
Unit Soletta will accept any and all data from user Prospera.
So this is where Marinade comes up with her, well, I've tried to get her to drop this, to drop all this and to be her own person the nice way. I only have one option to save Soletta from herself and her mom at this point, and God, I don't want to do this. This means I'll be hurting the person I care most about, but I think it's the only way to save her. Well, I have a proposal. And Gwell's like, what? Oh, you're not going to like this. Why? Well, because I just heard you talking to Soletta, and you like her, don't you? Well, yeah. Well, okay. So in order to save her, we're going to have to make her hate us. What? You two are going to challenge each other to a duel for my hand. So I'm going to ask her to do this, and and I'm going to make sure she loses. And the stakes on her side is that not only will she have lost the duel as a holder, she can never ever pilot Ariel ever again. And Grell's like, fuck. You sure about this? She's like, well, yeah. If we're gonna save everybody here, I have to become president. You need my help to save your company, and we need to save Soletta from herself. So, and she's in a position where she's kind of being manipulated by her mom a lot.
Yeah, she's basically a puppet.
Well, okay, so they do, and not only does Marinade do all this, she actually gets help from Prosper to screw Soletta over in the fight. Because Prosper is like, well, this means that Marinade owes me, and I don't technically need Soletta for my plans. So at this point, she's got me basically most of the way where I need her anyways. Need her to anyway. So sure. Also, I think I can swing things around with this. Ha ha ha. Blah. She's right.
They imply that the duels, the reason they sent Soletta to the academy in the first place was to do the duels to advance the control system within Ariel.
Yep.
But not necessarily needing Soletta herself.
Yep.
In a couple of episodes' time, when the big reveal happens, we get told that Soletta is the key.
Yep.
To unlocking what they needed,
and basically
so that's been done.
Prosper needs at least one more duel.
Yeah.
And so the duel happens, and Soletta loses, and oh god, she's sad. But she blames herself because she actually lost the duel. She failed. She failed Marinade. This is all her fault.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Marinade and Guel go off to Earth to try to basically because there are riots there, and Marinade's like, well, if we can, I need backing to become president. If I can convince the protesters to stand down even for a while, that will get me a lot of fucking credit. So I'm gonna go talk to them and see what they actually fucking want. And see if I can help them with that. And she goes down, and the military insisted on giving her at least a little bit of a bodyguard because, she is, Rembrandt's daughter, and he's in a coma currently because the assassination almost worked, by the way. We forgot to mention that. This is where we find out that Prospera is really, and she goes along too with Ariel. Most is because you should have Ariel there to show off. We won't arm it, of course not. That would be wrong.
Yeah, she still owns Ariel, so she's the one that pilots it.
Yeah. So the negotiations start off rocky, but eventually Marinade starts winning them over. And Guel actually chases after the other kid that was the one that survived. Because he sees them they run up to him in the crowd, and he goes chasing after them to talk to them. And the head of the corporation military's fleet, the Dominion fleet is I believe what it's called, who's this pudgy dude who used to be an Ace Gundam pilot, who's awesome.
Yeah,
that dude's great. He comes chasing along with them, and they talk to the kid, and they find out about the prince and the dude, and who's basically in charge of the terrorists. And the fat dude's like, wait, did you say the prince? Is he dark skin, long blonde hair, ties to Getter to one of the companies? Well, yeah. Fuck. Well, we now have Tied to Grassley. We know Shadiq is probably the head of the terrorist organizations. We don't have proof of that, but we can get it now. Well, fuck. I guess we'll head back. You should probably check in with your friend. Sorry, your bride-to-be, technically, at this point. No. So Guel calls Marinade. Marinade's like, oh, well, boy. So she basically mentions that she basically tells them, look, I know you guys can't back me, can't accept me right now. She basically realized that, you can't take me at my word because I don't have any power. I'm trying to become president of the group. If you guys give me, a week, and you know what I want, I've shown you that I want this medical tech and not actually warfare stuff. And I want to rope you guys into this because Earth is where this all started. If you give me a week, I might be able, I will, if I can become president that week, will you do, they basically say, we can't give you the actual back. They do say, yeah, we'll give you a week. Until the elections, we will send the protests down. At which point, Prospera uses Ariel to override the commands of one of the tanks to shoot at one of the Dominion mobile suits. Thus starting a firefight where it looks like the terrorists open fire on Dominion overreacts, etc., 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 and everything goes to hell. Now, this is all tying into what Prospera's actual plan is. And I want to hold off on saying anything about it because this is massive fucking spoilers.
Yeah.
We've spoiled a few things already, but fuck.
Yeah. I don't know if it's been mentioned about Ariel's ability to do that.
This is the first time we've seen it.
Yeah.
Well, no. We've seen it happen once or twice in the duels, kind of.
Yeah.
But never to this extent. And we only saw it with Sled in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it turns out that one thing that Delling and Prosper have been working on together is this thing called Quiet Zero. It was a project originally started by Prospera and Delling's wife and Marinade's mother. And basically it involves using unifying all the I forgot the term for it all of a sudden. Shoot.
The permit.
Permit systems into one big fucking network. So you can run things off of one thing and not actually have to have man combat suits anymore. You can just have drones, basically, run from a central hub. And in theory, I think the plan was to use basically AI so that nobody has to fight each other in war anymore. People don't have to die in war. It'll just be drones versus drones. That's the theory, at least. Well, actually, it'll be this invincible network of drones basically shutting down everybody else, basically shutting down everybody else's ability to fight. Because a drone network will just kick the fucking shit out of actual pilots. They can sustain much higher G-forces for a start. Much. Because there's no squishy human bits in the middle.
It's something they mention quite often. What we mentioned earlier about the drawback of permit. The data overload that they inflicts on humans, they refer to it as the data storm. This is a phrase you will hear a lot in this show.
Yep.
And that basically the gist of it is that Ariel is being developed to not only manipulate a data storm, but potentially generate one.
Yep.
And be a controller.
Yeah. And this is where we find out. So that's where we initially find out about this. And we're now finding out that, so that's part of the plan. We also actually do have revealed, like, when Mireille is talking with Prospera, we do find out from Prospera that her plan is largely, revenge against Stelling because he murdered her family, basically, and her mentor. Technically speaking, Mireille's kind of collateral damage in that because she's, her dad's daughter. But also, like, this is the whole Quiet Zero thing is partially there as a way to create a place where her daughter can actually live and survive. Her real daughter, Eric, who is actually part of Ariel. Her consciousness was basically transferred into Ariel.
Yeah. So they're basically, the way they explain it is that Eric, being an infant in space, just her body couldn't survive.
Right.
So they use the data storm. Again, this conductive permit material. They transferred the data of her entire consciousness into Ariel. She's within the fabric of the control system of Ariel. But she can't fully realize and be conscious and be an actual person without being in the center of a data storm.
Right.
Which is also implied why, becomes important in the last few episodes, why Suletta was never bothered by piloting a Gundam.
Yeah.
It's because Eri was always in there handling the data storm for her.
Right.
Yeah. It's Eri has been completely sublimated into Ariel.
Yep.
Yeah.
It turns out that like each of the Ariel's bits, like each of the funnels.
Yeah.
Each has their own sort of subconscious that runs them that are totally not. And Suletta is basically a clone.
Yeah.
And
they never use the term. They always refer to it as a replichild. But
it's a clone.
Yeah.
It's a clone.
Yeah, it's a clone.
And like
everything but.
And each of the funnels is basically run by a copy of Ares' consciousness.
We hope.
We're hoping it's not failed attempts at failed cloning attempts that she can copy into each funnel separately.
Yeah.
Prospero would totally have done that, however.
Prospero would have done this.
Yeah.
So Prospera has basically been manipulating everybody from the outset, and if you go back and like look at all the things she says and does on screen, she has been from the outset.
Yeah.
This is not an ass pull. This is this is proper Xanatos, like good bits of Gargoyle Xanatos shenanigans. Not late era Xanatos Gambit stuff.
Yeah.
From when Gargoyles is really well written. So So Ariel's been gone off to Quiet Zero, and they're setting things up. And basically, so it does turn out that there is a separate council that is not directly tied to the Barrett Group that has their own military and is actually very important. And they mention it on and off across the thing. They go in to try to take down Quiet Zero when they realize something's up there. And they're working alongside the Pell Group because, of course they are. Pell's selling everybody out because, well, that is the benefits us and is ethically, it has no ethics or morals behind it move. Let's do that.
Yeah, while everyone else has been fighting over things, and like the Jetter company has been helping Miorine and positioning themselves to be in the next big power. At the same time that the other ones, Grassley, have lost their leader and have this upstart guy essentially causing rebellion.
Yeah.
Pale have basically said, we choose option C. Screw you guys. We're going with those guys.
Yeah. And we're totally angling to just shut down the Barrett Group entirely. Just forcibly remove it. It's done. That's our plan. Also, shenanigans have happened back at the school. Basically, Shadiq and Gwell get into a fight in space. Gwell basically accuses Shadiq of being the guy behind everything. Shadiq's like, God damn it, you idiot. Why are you doing this publicly without evidence? Now I have to kill you. And I have the opportunity to do so when you don't have evidence on your side, you dumbass. Well, is his heart's in the right place at this point, but he's still very straightforward and not very smart.
It does show that he's not the businessman his dad wanted him to be.
No.
Yeah. He's not a corporate animal. He's like, I know you're being a dick. Stop being a dick.
Yeah. So they have a fight. And Shadiq basically says, okay, masks are off. Okay, guys, back at school, let our people who are holding at school, the 3 kids that are holding at school, let them out. That's fine. Are you sure, Shadiq? Prince, yes. Do it. So the second of the 2 Earther Gundam pilots who's at the school, who's still alive, now has a chance to get into her Gundam, get into her Gundam and wreak havoc, which is what she does. Ellen's like, oh fuck, I almost had you back to being a person. God damn it.
How much he actually does think about this, of the progress they made, though, because he finds himself getting in a Gundam.
Yep.
Himself. The one thing that he swore he would never do again.
Yep. Nika sort of goes back to the Earth group, and they're like, well, we need help, so Choo-Choo's sitting going, fuck, we can borrow, she's like, okay, we gotta see, one of the administrator groups of one of the other major groups, okay, we need people, we need a pilot to help save people because everything's going bad out there. There's a Gundam killing people, and the military's trying to slow them down, but we need every bit of help we can get. Choo-Choo, you can pilot things. We're willing to lend you our Gundam. Needs tuning. Lend you our new prototype mobile suit. Needs some tuning.
It's one of the demis. Yeah.
And Choo-Choo's like, well, that's great, but the only person who does my tuning is Nika, and we have no idea where. Oh, hi, Nika.
No. Yeah.
Nika's like, hi. Nika, could you tune this suit for us so we can go save people? Do you trust me still? She spills the beans. They're like, yes, we still trust you to do this, and I'm pissed off with you, but I'm not going to deck you right now.
There are people we are pissed off more at now.
Yeah, we've got there are larger fish for frying.
We'll talk about this later. You will tell me why you did this, and I will then consider not punching you for it.
I mean, Choo-Choo does like punching people.
She does.
She loves punching people.
She's very good at it.
And she's great.
If you've not seen this show, I guarantee you, by just being on social media, you will have seen the clip of Choo-Choo handing out a reprimand, shall we call it?
Yeah. At any rate, so Choo-Choo gets out there, helps fight, and basically a lot of side character students get crushed in debris and all stuff. Soletta almost does, but the girl from Jeteric House, who's being friendly to her, who is Loudna, Gwell's younger brother's she has a thing for him.
Yeah.
And she admits this publicly at this point to Soletta, which means she's in trouble. If you know anime tropes...
She starts talking about the first date that they're going to go on and all this sort of stuff. It's like, oh, shut up. Please just shut up for your own safety.
Well, she gets squished. She doesn't die, though. She's just really badly injured. Yeah, so things are wrecked, and eventually Ellen basically calms down the Earther girl, at which point the military puts a beam bolt through her cockpit. To be fair, it's understandable why they had no. She's been rampaging and killing people left and right at this point. Yes, she stopped doing anything, but like, there's no guarantee she won't start rampaging again.
They saw the shot. They took the shot.
Yep, and Ellen is distraught, but you could definitely see he's like, yeah, I get it.
He's smart enough to head to the ground, get out of the cockpit, and nope, not doing any more of this.
Nope. And
he even turns around to. Oh no, so it's a different one, isn't there? There's two Alans. I forgot there.
Yeah.
There is at all times two Alans knocking around.
Yeah, because there's the actual Alan.
There's the actual Alan who's still working with Pale.
Yeah. Who's up there with them right now, and he actually eventually resigns. It's hilarious. He seems like, well, I've got no. Why the fuck would I help you people?
He's like, nope, peace out, bye.
They're like, but what? That's not what we thought you were going to do. No. You forgot. I'm an asshole! And you've given me no reason to be loyal to you guys.
Yeah.
Oh. You guys are worse than I am. Ha! I can see that. Talk to the finger.
And if you think that's the best comeuppance that Pale gets, oh, just wait. Oh.
So, yeah, so we do get a scene after all this, and sort of, a bit of after there's everybody's sort of recovering from the school being blown to bits, and our Earth House finally finds Soletta because they're desperate trying to find her, and they find her digging people out of the rubble to save them.
Yeah.
Dear God, I fucking love this scene.
Yeah.
Because this is where Soletta's decided, fuck all this. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to do this because this is what I want to do. I want to help people.
Yeah. It's one of the first things she chooses wholly. Not just how to do it, but that she's going to do it.
Yeah. It is I think the single most badass thing Soletta does, honestly.
Mm-hmm. It's a very simple thing, but it's a case of she finally gains her own agency back and decides that I'm going to do something because I can do something.
Now, she does some more flashy comedy stuff. This, though, is just straight out, fuck yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like...
No, I'll agree with that.
So, yeah, Soletta is largely a driving force between Earth House basically helping everybody else in this, all the other survivors of school out, distributing food, water, helping people, and like, fuck yes. And this is when when Mirene and basically Mirene is extradited from is it Mirene? I think it was in Mirene. Basically, yeah, it was Mirene and some of the big group agents, basically the actual cops, basically.
Yeah.
Show up. The feds, really. One of the two feds. There are these two people we've seen recurring throughout the show. They look like they act like they're smugglers. They're not. They're feds. They show up. One of the two dies saving Mirene. I think it's Mirene.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Saving Mirene.
Basically, the whole gist of it is throughout this whole thing, because Mirene's mom worked on Quiet Zero, that's why Prospero wanted Mirene's help. Her mom worked on it, and her dad was basically a chief funder, being the president of the company.
Yep.
So she was helping with Quiet Zero in whatever capacity she could. These two basically managed to get her off of the station.
Yep. And are killed by one of the two is killed by Prosper's agent, one of Prosper's agents.
Yeah.
But they get the one remaining gets her back to the school.
Right. And like they all talk about like, okay, well, what are we gonna do? How are we going to they find out all about Quiet Zero, all this stuff. Like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Well,
one of the other side characters that we've had along the way the whole time was also one of the technicians that worked on the original Gundam project in episode 0.
Yep, she's worked for Pell for a while, and now she's...
Yeah. She wasn't... Either she wasn't killed, or they missed her, or she was just involved with the project, wasn't actually on the station. But her knowledge was important enough that Pale gave her a job and hid her. So she's been working on the Enhanced Humans project ever since. And she's been on and off, in and out of the show throughout the run. And she's there with them now on Earth. On the school.
Yep. So they come up with a plan. They do come up with a plan to get into Quiet Zero. They need a mobile suit with no permit running so it has to be piloted completely manually. And they need a Gundam that can get up to high enough to not be overridden by Quiet Zero.
Yeah. The permit technology has level grades, which...
And if you get up to 5, you can't be overridden, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only person they have that could possibly pull that off is, no, not you, Ellen. And Ellen's like, well, I wasn't going to do it. And, like, Sleda, we know it's a lot. We really can't ask you this of you, but you're possibly the only person to do this. And Sleda's like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
No, I have to go in there. I need to talk to my sister.
I need to save my sister and to talk mom down.
I need to slap my mom.
I need to talk mom down. Or need to try to talk mom down. Because despite the fact she's done awful things to me, I still actually care about her. She is my mother. And I think there is some good in her still. I think.
And the technician that I was mentioning a moment ago is aware that there is in fact another Gundam.
Yes.
Yes.
But they refer to it as the monster because
Caliban.
it doesn't have any Caliban. It doesn't have any limiters on the feedback, so it's not just as bad as Aerial.
It's worse.
Potentially worse.
Yeah. It does,
so
however, mean that without the feedback, without the limiters on feedback, it is much better at processing that information, and it's much more responsive.
Yep. It is potentially very powerful if you can survive piloting it.
Yeah. If it doesn't just turn you into a overcooked chicken nugget, you could be very badass.
We even very briefly see we get a reaction shot when Prospero realizes that Caliban's now been deployed, and she's like, "Wait, what?"
Yep. So they go to.
Who's stupid enough to pilot that?
Yeah.
Oh, of course it's.
Of course.
I mean, to be fair, it's basically a Gundam on a broomstick. So it's automatically one as far as I'm concerned.
It's great.
It is the witch. It is the legitimate witch. It has a broomstick.
It's great. It's great.
Not only its booster drive section, but also its main weapon.
Yeah.
So at any rate, the plan basically works.
Yeah.
There's a big fight. It's largely, Soletta versus Aerial and the drone Gundam that are there, buying time to sneak the technician lady, whose name escapes me at the moment, I'm not going to look it up, Mireille and the others onto the station, and especially Clone Elan, who's bodyguarding there largely, so they can override the system and shut it down. Now
it does develop into your typical, because Soletta's there to talk.
Yep.
I mean, she's fragging drones left, right, and center. But the entirety of this, it's the fight is a conversation. She's trying to get through to Aerial the whole time.
Trying to get through to Aerial, and Ariel's like, you don't have to do this, and Soletta's like, yes, I do. I care about you. Well, if you care about me, then this is how I can survive. There are ways to do it without becoming like a super weapon.
Yeah.
But Mom says it's the only way. Oh my god.
Mom's an idiot.
And
Mom's an evil bitch.
And that's the big jump for Soletta. Soletta actually is saying, yeah, but Mom's wrong.
Yeah.
Wait, did I just say that? Yeah, Mom's wrong.
There's a great moment later on where Prospero gives Soletta a not an order but an order, and Soletta's like, no. And Prospero's like, wait, what? She has this look on her face of, wait, you can say no? Oh dear, I have miscalculated. Oh no, my plans have been thwarted by these kids. No. So yeah, I think the best reveal in this final sequence, legitimately, for me at least, was while they're hacking into the system, they realize, okay, well the only way Marine's like, well the only way I can get in here is if I can get override codes. How can I override? Wait. And this is a scene we didn't mention because this is actually important, and we forgot to mention we should have.
Yeah.
Marinee has had a greenhouse where she's raising a strain of tomatoes that was bioengineered by her mother.
Yeah.
It's like the last thing she has from her mom.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, her mom was like I say, she worked on Quiet Zero, and as we say, Permet in it and how it connects to the human body, all that kind of stuff. She was the bioengineer behind that.
Right.
Yeah.
So at one point, like towards the end, like Soleda's like, oh, by the way, when I saved I've been storing the actual grown tomatoes. The greenhouse got kind of squished during the big fight.
Yeah.
I did save all these tomatoes, but I also as a favor, we actually looked at the genetic structures of it out of curiosity, and there's a message to you from your mom in the gene code of these tomatoes. And Marinee's like, wait, what? Oh, Mom, that's really sweet. I wish you made it a little bit easier to read the message, but that's sweet. There's other like weird code here, and Marinee's like, wait a minute. The message was basically, you'll never be without me, and there's a code there. Oh, Mom, you brilliant bastard.
Yeah. They go in and use the password that they think it's going to be, and Prospero's like,
aha, I knew you guys were coming. I changed the password. I'm not stupid.
You wouldn't change my... Well, she says, you don't think I wouldn't change my passwords? So, yeah, you didn't change your passwords. Sorry, you did change your passwords. Mira and his mom didn't.
So Meredith goes to this code that she got from the tomatoes, and shock of shocks, it works. They set this up. Well played.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh god, they mentioned she worked on. Oh, this is actually really good.
Yeah.
And Prosper's like, well, fuck. Okay, so what are we gonna do about this super laser that's being aimed at us by the?
Oh yeah, did we mention this?
Oh yeah. The totally not feds have
a super laser. It's a communication laser. It is totally designed for inter-system communication.
Communication and power transfer.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's totally not a weapon of mass destruction if it accidentally goes off.
If you actually were to turn the power up, full power and aim it at something that's not an antenna, say.
Yeah.
Oh wait. So they fire it the first time and it's deflected by Ariel and the force screens and such, and it doesn't work. They're powering it up a second time.
Now this fucks up Ariel.
Oh yeah.
This is the important thing. So like they fire it first, and Ariel basically sacrifices itself to protect the station.
Yep.
And all the while they're gearing up for a second. Now they do manage to save Eri.
Yep.
Because even though Ariel's battered, the consciousness is still there. And we get a great little bit where they finally all come to terms. Her mom, Eri, Suletta, and all of the additional... Because Ariel itself is basically non-functional at this point, all the additional parts, the funnels that normally... Like, these funnels do everything. They're guns, they form shields.
They're impressive.
They do a lot. And they all leave Ariel and connect... And Eri basically connects with Caliban.
Yeah.
And we get space magic nearing, but not quite, on the level of...
the end of Unicorn.
Yeah. The end of Unicorn, yeah.
So yeah, basically they power up Quiet Zero, and they fired a permanent wave that overrides the communications overrides the systems at the super laser thing and shut it off.
Yes.
And this burns out all of the permit in the Gundams in the area.
Yes.
And Quiet Zero.
All of the Gundams in Quiet Zero, basically, the permit loses all molecular coherency and dissolves.
And we are left with Sleda floating in space on her own, and Marinee coming in a mobile suit, cutting out and saving her. This is a beautiful inversion of what happened in the very first episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's like, she gets to Soletta, and Soletta is not responsive, and Mirene's like, oh fuck, no. And then Soletta basically has a look out, and Soletta's like, Mirene's like, respond more quickly when I save your life, please. Don't do that.
Oh dear.
And basically, that's basically the end.
The only thing that happened in the middle of that, and again, it's a minor thing, but I think it's just, again, because it shows how Mirine is never a spectator.
Yeah.
So while they're aiming this laser, the whole reasoning that the feds have got for this is that the Bennett group are too big. We need to strike at their power base, and then we're gonna sanction you, and we're gonna break it all up.
Mirine's like, by the way.
By the way, on comms, straight away. You've no need to fire. I've just signed papers to dissolve the entire group. I've sold all of its stocks and shares, and everything's basically been sold off
to Earth
and distributed to the Earthing companies, including Pale's stock, by the way.
And by the way, this is where the real Ellen's like, fuck y'all. I got signed by Mirine. Bye.
Yep.
And the pale group's like, wait, but what?
Wait, can she do that? What? Like, we get in the outro, we get a little shot of the 4 pale women now sat in an old folks' home around a table playing cards, because that's all they've got left.
But yeah, that's largely where things end. We get little Coda on Earth. You know, Mirine, finally showing back up the way she said she would.
About 5 years later, I think, yeah.
And we find out that she's got this sort of communications thing sort of on the back of her neck, which is actually, I'm guessing it's some sort of cyber implant. That Eric is communicating with her through. Because Eric is alive, she's stuck in a little electronic rabbit doll thing.
I don't think that's true. Like I said,
I don't think she's stuck there. I think that is a focus. She's basically in the network, basically.
Yeah.
She's basically a ghost in the shell. Like,
rather than living within the data storm, she's living within the permanent network.
Yeah. And so she's chatting. They're chatting, and like she's like, you should. She basically Eric's basically, you should listen to your sister-in-law. And Mirine's like, yeah. By the way, yes, they did get married. That is confirmed.
Did they get married?
Yes.
They're...
I was reading up, actually. There's been a lot of fuss over that, because apparently when it first came out, they did an interview and explained, that yes, they are. And apparently somebody, higher ups, had the interview edited to leave it open to interpretation.
Yep.
Really?
Which caused a lot of complaints.
Yep.
Until the actresses that performed the roles actually did a DVD commentary version, and basically they said, no, they're partners. They're married. Yeah,
no, they're
there's
married.
No interpretation on this. No, they are married. They're wearing rings. She's her sister-in-law. They're married.
Yeah.
Like, what are you...
Yeah. It's higher ups again, just like wanting to backpedal just a touch, just so there's some ambiguity, so they can't be, so they can please everyone without upsetting anybody.
Yeah.
But
the people are going to be upset with these two being married.
People on Earth, who gives a fuck?
Yeah. At any rate, that's basically the end of Witch Mercury.
Yeah. Like I said, there are a lot of parallels to a lot of other things, but it comes together. And I think I'll probably repeat this in my final thoughts, but one of the things about this show is that although it doesn't seem as complex as, other Gundam stories, there's no ass-pulls whatsoever.
No, that's the big... I will give them that. That is the biggest thing I'll give them.
Everything is set up.
They set everything up very well.
Everything is either completely set up, hinted at, or at the very least within character.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's out of the ordinary. It's that, you can absolutely understand why this character would... Like, Mirine, she never wanted the power of running a company or anything like that. She absolutely would sell off the entire group.
Oh, yeah.
Just to fuck over and resolve the situation. And make sure that the people on Earth were getting the profits from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like saying, nothing is forced.
Yeah.
Even the bullshit that Prospera is, like I hate to use the cliche, but the web she weaves is so intricate from episode 1.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it's honestly very impressive.
Yep.
The way everything hangs together.
All right, I guess we should get into final thoughts. We've been going a long while, so
Yeah, it's been
nearly 2 hours.
Yeah.
So Gav, then me, then Eric, because this is Eric's pick.
Yep.
Well, yeah. So, like I say, the writing is great in this. I would say it's not the most appealing if you are a Gundam combat sort of. That's not what the story's about.
Right.
Like IBO had a lot more combat.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, it's kind of why I'm more of a fan of the things like Build Fighters, because it's a sport, it's a tournament sports show hiding behind Gundam. One thing that I did mention to the guys when we were watching, this one's had a bit of a reputation as being the bloodless Gundam.
Yes, if you're talking entirely about the main cast, sure.
Yes, primarily because they don't use the main cast as drama bait.
Yep.
There's like you say, there's
not that type of drama bait.
Well, not that type of drama bait. There's one girl that waves death flags and survives. She's not a main cast member, but other than a couple of Vim Jeturk, Gwel's dad, the 2 terrorists, well, quite a lot of terrorists actually, and countless school children. No one dies in this. Countless school children and soldiers essentially is, but no one with a name that we really care about essentially. So there is that, I suppose. People do live happily ever after.
Yep. Now, yeah. Anything else?
No, from me, that's about it.
Yeah. I overall like this a lot. I had issues with parts of it. The massive tonal shift at the end of the first half threw me off. And I was not a big fan of the first couple of episodes of part 2, but once it got its feet back under it and sort of settled into the tonal shift, it really hit its stride and did very well. There is, as I said, that the bit at the end of the battle at Planqueta, it's a major tonal shift. It can catch you completely off if you're not expecting it. Yeah, it's a very good. Is it my favorite Gundam series? No, I liked it a lot, but I prefer 8th MS Team. My 3 favorite Gundam shows are probably still. My 2 favorites are definitely 8th MS Team and G Gundam. Sue me, G Gundam's just goofy fun. I love it. I don't think it's objectively the best. It's not, but I really enjoyed that show. Iron Blooded Orphans is also really good. It's just not one I want to watch again anytime soon. Whereas I could see myself rewatching Witch from Mercury. Not soon, but I could do it. I adore Mirane. She's one of my favorite characters. She's one of my favorite Gundam characters, period. She's not Miria Zabi or first season IBO Kudelia, but she's close. In fact, I think I like her overall than Kudelia overall, but that's largely because they stopped giving Kudelia anything to do in the second half of IBO.
Yeah, she's so weak in season 2.
It's such a shame because Kudelia is great. I get why, but and moot point that's not what we're talking about here. I love both Gwel and Soleda's character arcs. I thought they were both very well done. Prospera is a really well realized villain, even if I did find her a little tedious at times. But for the most part, she's a really good villain. The real problem, actually, one of my problems for a while was that what's his name? I'm forgetting his name all of a sudden. Shadiq. Shadiq for a long while was really not that interesting.
Yeah.
When he goes completely mask off, not just partially mask off, and you start seeing his actual plan, it's like, oh, okay. There is more to you than I thought there was. I still think he's a little too bland for most of the show, but I get why they were doing that. It just didn't execute as well as I thought they should have. And other than that, I'm not a big fan of most of the other major student characters. That are sort of like they're fine. Like Earth House are fine. Like Choo Choo's great. Look, Earth House is like okay. It's pretty good. Choo Choo's great. Nika's okay. She's pretty solid. But like most of the antagonistic Earth students are just not. The school students aren't that interesting.
Yeah, they're just there. Nika's more of a plot point.
She's fine.
Choo Choo is
great.
Choo is a
Choo Choo's great. She's
a standout.
She's a delight. Most Earth House are fine at worst.
Mm-hmm. I think the difference is Choo Choo is a character.
Yeah.
The others are there.
If you take Elon as a collective, the collective Elon is actually really interesting. But none of them individually is that interesting, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, and most other characters are fine. Like it's a very good show. I don't think it's great, but it's very good.
Yes.
And that's sort of where I'm at with the show. I think it is a very, very good show, but I wouldn't put it in the category of great. And over to Eric, your pick.
So I like this show quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
The animation's great. Like everyone said, the writing is like spectacular. The way everything hangs together. I think the weak characters in this would be stand out in a lesser show. Honestly.
Yeah, sure.
I
can see that.
Particularly Shadiq, who is a bland lesser boy, but he would stand out in like some like isekai trash. He'd be the favoriteest best boy in some isekai trash thrown out in a season. You'd see memes of him everywhere. But because he's surrounded by so many better characters like Minarine and Grell and Soletta and Prospero, and he just doesn't seem that interesting. Choo Choo is the best character ever. The end. Fight me. She's Japanese Toph Beifong, but with a mech.
I will say I will fight you on that because Mirane is the best character of the show, but
she's not Japanese Toph Beifong.
No, she's not. She's fucking awesome though.
But I will echo. This isn't my favorite Gundam series simply because 8th MS Team exists. Most of Unicorn exists.
Oh yeah. Unicorn up until the last 2 episodes is great.
Yeah. Last couple of bullshit space magic and Unicorn, remove that. One of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
But it's still damn good, and yeah, it's definitely worth a rewatch. The tonal I actually enjoy the tonal shift, going from like
sure, I could
silly stuff to
yeah.
Suddenly, no, there are consequences. Fuck. You thought this was all? No, there are consequences.
I'm okay with the tonal shift. I was the execution of it that threw me off. Is my point.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, I can understand that. Like it felt like a. For me, it was that moment of realization that your fucking around has consequences.
Oh sure.
Like it's time to fucking grow up now. But yeah, no, I could see how it rankled people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I will echo Peter's. This is a really good show. Not great. It's really good. Like I would definitely watch this.
Oh sure.
It's no Mob Psycho 100.
No,
but it's definitely better than say, I don't know, Killing Bites.
Talk about Eric. Why are you closing a bar that's buried in the ground?
It's better than the one about the ass fighting, which is delightfully insane, but not terribly interesting.
Legit, I would say this is better than about like 90% of the anime out there. Honestly,
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
We also don't cover 90% of the anime.
Right? No, exactly. We like if it is in the. I would say it's in the top, at least top half of the shows we covered, at least.
Yes,
at least.
I would definitely say that.
Probably top 25%. I would say.
Yeah, no, it's up there. I don't know why we're banging on this show, but
we're not real. We're not really. We're sort of like we're like trying to figure out where we place it, and we don't really generally do that. So it's like a weird.
Yeah. No,
it's really good. It's really good. Watch it.
Yeah, like the first half is like happy fun school time dueling giant robots, and the second half is time for consequences. Time for all the fuckery happening in the background to come to the fore.
No, as I said, I really was okay.
that.
I became really okay with the tonal shift once it got its feet under it afterwards.
Yes.
It took it a bit to get its feet under there for me, was what it would boil down to.
No, and I could see that. But yeah, no, the show hangs together so well.
No, the writing's very good.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see what the second season was up against in its season. If this is the right one, I think. What does Japanese count April? Is that the spring season?
I think so. I think that's spring. I think that's spring.
I look like a guy who pays attention to linear time.
I can't seem to see Witch from Mercury on the list, but if it was spring 23, there was a Demon Slayer season out. Mashal came out at the same time.
No, this wasn't spring 23.
No, I didn't think it was.
This would have had to been winter then.
Been winter.
Because Mashal's definitely after that.
Okay, Vinland Saga season 2 came out about the same time. Tokyo Revengers. Nothing that I can see that would take away from it, so it should have had plenty of attention.
I mean, I remember it getting a lot of attention from the various...
Oh, the remake of Trigun started about the same time.
Sort of not super important. It did fine, and it's a good show. Like, if you haven't watched it, go check it out. Like, it's good. More specifically, if you at all like Gundam, it's definitely worth watching, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's on the list. This is by no means one of those, oh god, we're watching that one. It's no Seed.
Right.
And I know I've just pissed off a lot of people saying that. You're the same people that like the Fate Stay series, and you should feel bad about that.
I can hear Eric being a little indignant there.
Yeah.
Eric, the bad ones, Eric. You know the ones I mean, and you know the reason why they like it.
Eric likes Fate Zero and Fate Unlimited Blade Works.
Yeah.
I mean, Unlimited Blade Works was okay. It felt like half the story.
Uh-huh.
But Fate Zero is great.
Yeah, Fate Zero is fine.
It's a shame it had to take care of its disabled brother.
Like I said.
Anyways, the ending is unfortunate, but as I said, the ending sort of collapses under like a blancmange in a cupboard, you know.
Yes.
Anyways, that's it for this episode, folks. Thank you so much for running. We've been going way too long, but we enjoyed it. It's a fun show to talk about. All right, Gav, have you picked what the next show we're doing is?
I have, yes. We're gonna go do something after all the drama and the killing and everything else. We're gonna do something a little bit funnier. We're gonna do Zom 100, which has only just finished its run. So it's a brand new show, and we'll go from there.
There we go. Zom 100's next, folks. Thank you for watching. We will see you all next time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.